sick. Normally sick. He actually filmed a secret.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be what you're expecting it to be. It's going to be a very sad cell phone video.
Well, David Spade on his podcast talked about it. They did like a memorial, and then Netflix filmed it for the special. Like, so they're going to cut in and out of like Adam Sandler being like, he was my best friend. And Spade going like, beep, boop, wow. And then Spade says, so that was really sad, but also weird because there were like dollies flying in and cranes while you're trying to give a emotional speech about your friend. And then they brought 6 of them into a secret room.
And he was still alive.
It's like, hey! That would be the ultimate Norm.
You're the chosen 6. Oh, Norm Macdonald's still alive.
They brought them into a separate room and showed them his hour special that his longtime friend and manager, Lori Jo, whatever her name is, filmed. So it's just him doing jokes to one person laughing. And David said, he's like, the jokes are funny. It's just one, like, I didn't cry during the actual ceremony, but I cried when I saw Norm sick telling jokes. And just like the idea of it, like he's in a room telling jokes. No one knew that he was sick. And this is our last thing. Like, such a weird thing to see your friend that you just got, like you just talked about him dying. And then now you're watching him tell jokes. It's just, so it will be interesting. I will be watching it. I'm sure it will make people mad because I think David Spade even said something about it. Like, it's some of the jokes are like probably not appropriate. And like, because he didn't work them out anywhere.
Right.
He didn't take them around the nation like he normally would, or like go to clubs.
Yeah. Did he?
Welcome to Lunch Break.
Hey everyone, it's Wednesday. Where are your children? So I think, am I in frame?
I don't know. We should start.
Welcome to Lunch Break. Here's what I have to say. It seems a little macabre, doesn't it? And do you think... And
that's how my corn was.
Hey, if you go outside for too long and if you go outside for too long and you're looking down at the ground, you might have a redneck.
You have, in a little bit, you're going to die because you just did that. No, not really.
Hey! That's the sniper on the roof taking me down. You need to get out of that Little Caesars now. I'm not leaving till they open up the portal.
Fire.
And I think people will figure out what we're talking about. But did he give them consent? Did he say,
"Who?
If I die, you can show this footage of me on Netflix"?
Yes.
So he's okay with it.
He wanted the world to see.
Okay. I mean,
according to
his manager.
According to his manager, who I think is, by all accounts, his best friend, and
it just gets sadder.
So I don't think that this person would lie about it just for their own gain, but who knows? Greed can do strange things to people.
It's crazy that this show that we're doing afforded us this studio.
Well,
if you're watching the video, your jaw is permanently unhinged. Just like us. That should be the name of the show, Permanently Unhinged.
Like that Russell Crowe movie where he's he's driving in a truck and
it's called Permanently Unhinged.
It's called Unhinged. The sequel will be Permanently Unhinged. It kind of looks good though.
Russell Crowe still owes us a Master and Commander.
Yes, he does.
Didn't they call the first one Part 1?
It was like Master and Commander : something something something.
Yeah.
Part 1.
Colon blow Part 1.
So
It's the rocking of the boat.
yeah.
Gives you more than scurvy.
What is the best Part 1? Of all Part 1s.
Oh, that's a loaded. It's a loaded potato of a question because most people think the first movie in a is the best.
You got to change something about your. I can hear your rubber. Yeah.
You can hear my rubber. That reminds me of a joke that Dave Chappelle said was stolen from him.
Do the voice.
You know what's funny about his voice? He's aged, I think, more than anyone I've ever seen.
Welcome to the show.
'Cause I watched a clip of him on Conan yesterday.
Wow, canceled.
Yeah. And he said,
Conan was canceled.
"What?"
His show. I mean, he said he was like retiring, but it was
it
pretty
because
much
of the thing
canceled.
where he plays a pervert all the time?
Conan, I pray to God it doesn't happen.
He's just kidding. It's a joke, but he can.
Somehow he gets a pass. He looks at the Pussycat Dolls lady's boobs in her dress. She says, "My eyes are up here." He says, "Well, I don't care." Whatever. And it's funny. He gets a pass because I think everyone just knows.
Everyone knows he's harmless.
He's harmless. He's the dweeb. He's Porky's looking in.
He could try it. You knock him over with one push. The bigger you are, the harder they fall.
Yes. You've heard of one punch man? One push man. And that's all it takes. One push man.
That would be funny. He's done a lot of, with the comic book conventions, and he's got his own. They should do him as like one push man, and it's him doing a voice to like a Japanese anime.
Yeah. And then one guy goes,
Uh-huh.
doing, and he goes, bah!
Yeah.
And the sweat bead, pew, falls down inside of his head. I've been watching a lot of David Spade. Pew.
Did you listen to? I didn't even know he had a podcast.
Yes.
With
Dana.
This is out of because I saw he did one with Mike Myers, and I was like, this is what I want to hear.
It's a great episode.
I haven't listened to it yet. I'm kind of banking it. You ever do that with podcasts? Like, I know that I'm gonna feel sad in a couple days.
Yeah.
So I want to spend time with my friends.
Marin. Yeah, I do that, but not for this show.
No.
This show I will never listen to.
No, this show can be permanently locked to the gates.
Honestly, right now, The Fly on the Wall is what it's called. David Spade and Dana Carvey. It's the only show I listen to every week.
Wow.
Right now, I'm banking all the other ones.
The other shows you listen to.
Yes.
Well, sometimes you just get into a groove with a show, and you
Yeah.
say, this is new. I want to hear these people.
Yeah.
And then you get behind on the other shows.
Yeah.
And you go, how are they still doing this?
Yeah, you're like,
They're doing one
God,
of these a week.
What a bunch of losers.
And now I have to catch up with it.
God.
I don't need to catch up with it.
And then sometimes one of those episodes auto plays, and I'm like, I'm not even in the mood for this. And then the next hour is me spending my time listening to it because it's funny. Serial starts playing, and I'm like, this is funny.
Unsolved Mysteries.
They've completely lost the plot of Serial, the idea of the Serial podcast. I checked in with that podcast a couple days ago just to see because they have new episodes. I was like, what? Huh? Did Adnan come out of jail yet?
I think this is post Adnan.
It is. They had a second season that I never listened to that was, basically not about nothing. And then there was a third season that was not a serialized story. It was about the main girl, Genji Cohen or whatever her name is. Now that's the Weeds lady. She's talking to different people at like the Baltimore State courthouse.
Baltimore.
And every single episode is her talking to a different person. The complete opposite of Serial.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And now they have little 5-part series on like what's a walrus sound like?
Warder. Well, if you're gonna talk about Baltimore,
You got to say
Baltimore, every day is an open door.
I hope someone's here.
I listened to a podcast on doorbells yesterday.
Doing, doing.
That's it. Fascinating.
Did they have any of the?
They had the classic one that goes.
Did they have the one that's like?
It's about that time.
There was one that was interesting because it was handmade and it used like a gong system from 1743, and it was like, John.
Speaking of Chappelle,
He went from this, hey, and then a week later he's like, I was just a kid. And they stole all my material. Yeah, you went to go see him do stand up and he's like, you think it's easy being rich? He's just dumping his cigarette ash on people's heads in the audience. But then all the comments are like genius.
well, that's the thing with him. But he's also the type of guy that would be mad at Nanette. It's like,
Don't talk about real stuff unless it's my real stuff.
you're not the only guy on Earth. I know you think that, but you're not.
Just what happened. He used to be carefree. He went on, he did his Chappelle show. He's like, what if I played the president? I'm just a little twerpy guy. Now something happened.
Well,
I gotta wear a bulletproof vest
the issue
to the
is
zoo.
he's getting high on his own supply, isn't he?
Yeah.
So your favorite part one?
Yeah, I think Chud. Which I watched. I forgot. Did I bring this up on the show? I finally watched Chud.
Yeah.
Cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
Yeah.
They made a Chud 2, and I'm just going to say this. It's not as good. Have I seen it? No. But
You can tell.
Chud 1 or Chud 2? It's like when I go to the optometrist. Chud 1 or Chud 2? I think Chud 1 looks a little bit better.
Yeah, Chud one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chud 3 or Chud 4? Chud 3 or Chud 4? Could I see 3 again? Sure.
Chud
Wait.
three.
Could I see 1 again? It's not how it works. Why not? How does it work now?
How does it work ever? I don't even know how they have that many lenses in that freaking thing that they put on your eye and it touches your eyelashes and you're like, God, that's the best feeling ever.
I went, I think, during COVID, and they
What? Say during.
What did I say? During? During.
You said during.
During. Yeah, I went during COVID. And listen to this. My doctor was Italian. He's an eye doctor. But they had you keep your mask on, but then you shove your face up into a machine that's like, this blows recycled air into your eye.
Yeah.
And then this one, this one's got people's forehead grease all over it. This world's not made for us.
This world is made to fall, my dear boy.
I think some people...
Body once told me the world. Some people. Wait, I'm going back to the optometrist.
Okay,
I need glasses.
let us know how it...
No, it's true. I went during. Did I say it weird? I went during COVID too.
He got mad at me, but he's the one that said it first.
I went during COVID too.
Check the tape.
And
Check
I
the
said,
tape.
Yeah, they're doing that. Do you ever do this where they're like 1 or 2, 1 or 2, and you're sitting there and you're sweating, and then you're like, I think they're the same.
Yeah.
Are they the same though? The difference is just so
I
minuscule.
should ask them next time but the thing is, if it's so minuscule that you could possibly choose the wrong one, there is a butterfly effect there.
Yes.
Where then you start seeing ones that are because in my head, I think here's how it's supposed to work.
Okay.
I think as you progress, they're supposed to get clearer and clearer. That makes the most sense to me. Where you get to the final and they're like 5 or 6, and it's just like you can see through walls.
Yeah.
You can look into the sky and you see God. But it's like you go 1, 2, and then they do 3, 4, and then 5 and 6. 6 is like terrible. And you're like, somewhere along this path, I must have messed up.
I've never gotten to 5 and 6.
I think I've gotten as far as 7, 8.
No.
7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pick up sticks, 7, 8.
Don't be late.
Is that it?
5,
7, 8.
Keep them straight.
Keep men straight.
They're trying to make all the men gay. That's why they're pulling all that soy milk inside your Pedialyte. All Pedialyte soy milk, and that's why they're out of soy milk at the store. And that's why they stopped making formula. That Gerber baby that's on the formula, guess what? He's German.
This is the stuff that's real.
This
on the
is
internet.
real. You could look this up today. Today.
Look it up. The baby says mine Gerber,
We, of course, have to address the fact
which is
that...
the bad guy from Die Hard.
Yeah. But no, so yeah, you're right. It is a butterfly effect, because I think I did that at my last appointment. And then because for the first time ever, my eyes were different.
So they're getting worse. One's getting worse.
But then the
funny.
first few times that I put my contacts in, I had a headache, a searing headache. I was like, I don't think this is right. I think they should be the same. They've always been the same. This is the first time, and it was the first time I went to this doctor. I'd gone to somewhere else. This was the first time I went there. First time I had a headache putting in my new contacts. First time for everything, they tell me. But I don't want this to be the first. He what?
Yeah, I don't know. He gave you an exam of some sort.
Yes.
Yes. Let's call it a digital exam. Digits.
Digits. The digital monster.
Digital get down.
Mr. Big Volume. So he did that. No, but after a few months of wearing them and just, seeing through the pain,
I wonder about that. Have you ordered any?
they're fine now.
And you got those from your your optometrist.
Yes.
Have you ordered glasses online? Because I can't get it right.
I did once. Oh, actually, no, twice. One time I ordered from, what's the place? Zenny.
You've got Zeddy, you've got Coastal. There's more. There's ones that aren't made of little garbage, like, of course, Warby Parker. But now you have to go in person to Warby Parker. I know the Parker family. Lovely family. Lovely family. Lovely family.
By the way, if you want to hear some of the funniest Trump stuff, and we do Trump Jr.,
Yeah.
but there's a guy called James Austin Johnson, and he is on the Dana Carvey and David Spade show, and it is almost shocking, especially in an audio format, to hear him go into it.
I listened to I think they posted a preview of the episode, and I said, this is going in my bank, because he does what I can only refer to as becoming a different person. They're playing audio of Donald Trump speaking.
It's insane. And then you hear Dana, and you kind of go through all of his impressions in your head, and you go, oh, actually none of them are good.
Yeah.
Because, and he actually even says that in the episode. He's like, well, my now far less superior Trump or whatever.
But even when he's been doing it before,
he's never been good.
You guy it's gonna be huge. There's lots of places to go that are huge in China.
Yeah.
And you're like, this isn't good. And then you hear someone do it that is Donald Trump.
In a way that's too perfect.
It's baffling, and I'm sorry, but this is the point of the show. You can mark it if you're in your podcast app and it'll let you put chapters. It's SNL hour.
It's SNL hour.
We need to have you seen this
podcast I think we follow called
Yeah.
SNL Network.
Well, because they followed us.
We should
because we talked about SNL so much.
let's mention them in the ats.
Okay.
They'll listen to this if they get this far.
James Austin Johnson. He's great. He's great.
It's when you watch him do that, it's exactly what, and it's not even the voice.
No.
It perfectly captures
He does.
what he does.
He does because he looks away, like even through the insane makeup that they put on him
Yeah.
to do it. It's the way he does. No one does it right except him.
And it's what you had talked about when we had talked about Alec Baldwin, where he's pursing his lips.
Which
But it was mentioned, I think, by you, because I do want to give you big ups.
thank you.
That it's like he tenses his neck up.
Yes, he never ever pursed his lips the way that Alec Baldwin.
But that's what
Never.
That's what James does. He's just
Yes.
like looking.
He's constantly kind
true.
of locking his jaw. Okay. And then he like never makes direct eye contact with anyone.
And then
so
just
he's
the way he bounces from topic to top. It's just
it's
all
It's perfect.
Give this guy a gold dinger.
Yes.
We're gonna give him the lunch break gold dinger. We should also tag him in this and say we want to congratulate James Austin Johnson for winning the gold dinger award.
Well, and here's the other thing too that I think, because sometimes I read the reviews for SNL, especially on a certain website that has gone,
I'm a blank actor.
that has gone downer and downer and downer. But they sometimes are like mad because they're not as hard hitting as they should be. But I think Alec Baldwin especially helped Trump.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Alec Baldwin was joking when he held up that sign that said "You're welcome" on that when Trump lost, and like he held up a sign on SNL that said "You're welcome."
So stupid.
Like, because obviously he didn't do anything, and I think he actually hurt it because you had someone like now. I don't think it's on Trump's radar. It might be. I think he said something at a rally recently because I think I saw James Austin Johnson share it where he's like,
I heard there's a new guy. I've never seen him, but I heard he's new, and quite frankly, he's probably bad.
but that means nothing.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin gave Trump and his whole base something to be mad about.
They're gonna make fun of our guy.
Well, and as some people say, it's like an impression should not, and I don't necessarily agree with this because I don't think James Austin Johnson or me or you like Trump Jr.
He doesn't like Trump. We don't like Trump Jr.
Right.
I don't think.
But some people say, like, you have to, if you're doing an impression, you can't be doing it out of hate. I don't necessarily agree with that. But Alec Baldwin's impression was not good. and it was hateful.
It was hateful because he was just turning the guy into a stupid blob.
Right. Which is true,
He
but
is.
it's not true in the way that,
But you-
like, James Austin Johnson does it.
He's just being the guy.
He's being the guy, and it's like, wow, that's just like him. It's cranked up a little bit for comedic effect. But it's funny to see how that's really not. It's funny to see how stupid
Yeah.
the guy is instead of being like, he doesn't even do that. And then you can all point to it and say, he doesn't even do that. Why are you doing it like that? I hate you and I hate this whole show that I otherwise used to like or something. And then you create bogeymen for these people to latch on to. And it's just wrong. And that's why we're not doing it on this 150th episode of Lunch Break. We are not going to be doing...
No. Hashtag not the bogeyman for the 150th bonus episode.
Bonus episode.
We'll see.
For this episode that is unnumbered because it is a bonus episode. Because we have a
Very
special
special
idea.
idea that we're talking about doing.
for the 150th.
And if we don't do it, you know what's the funniest thing? No one cares.
Yeah.
No one's going to remember that we said that.
And no one's going to care that we have barely addressed the fact that we're in an office building. No one's going to care that we have barely even done the show like we usually would, where we would come to you. 'Cause I have like a couple of jokes that I was thinking about.
Here's the biggest joke. I wore a shirt last week that Landon's wearing now. No one has even
No one's even
said
talked about it yet.
anything. We switched clothes.
No one's talking about this.
We filmed these all in a month in one day. 1 month we just sit down and
We sit down and we bang them out, as they say.
Yeah.
I say, should we really be saying stuff like that? But you do. That's the business. The business. You bang them out.
You bang them out, you tackle them with a fervor. That's as bad as bang them out. Oh no, I didn't come up with as good as this example as Landon did, so everyone's gonna be on my case.
We're not even addressing the fact that I have a little pimple on my face.
Hit that subscribe button, watch in 4K as we zoom in on Landon's face.
I'm crying because it's. I'm crying because it's so sad that I got a big old pimple.
Oh, you hate to see it, but you love to see it.
It's any time we're filming something important.
Because you get nervous beforehand.
You get nervous beforehand, and you get nervous before.
You get Normans beforehand.
Huh? You saying something about me?
Did you see the Maria Bamford special that she just did to her parents in her living room?
I didn't. Funny?
I like her,
Yeah.
but she's funny.
Okay.
But when they then cut to her parents kind of politely laughing, and it kind of kills I'm just
kills
worried
the-
about, I don't know, but I can probably watch Norm do it. He did a TV show where it was just him.
But yeah, pretty much. Him and a guest,
Him and that guy.
and Adam Egget.
Adam.
What's he?
Gotta check
say?
in on him.
Yeah. Norm was my friend.
I think I have an EGOT. An Ernie, a Grammy, an Oscar, a Tony.
Yeah.
And that was just Friday night. But I'll be going out to catch a little more Strange in a few days, so we'll see what else I can wrangle up.
Yeah, and I'll be going out to catch a rising star, which is where Norm actually got his start.
The Brad Pitt movie Snatch?
Oh, that was Star Search, actually.
I thought it was something completely different when I went to see it. Same with Johnny Depp's Blow.
Yeah. And same with World War Z. I don't know. I just thought it was going to be something a little different.
I thought it was going to be...
A good movie.
One time I took French class when I was in Le Pepe La Suisse Le high school, and all the kids went off to France for spring break, and I said, I don't think I'm gonna go. And my parents looked at the bill and they said, you thought right. And then they came back, and one of the guys I think had gotten to share a hotel room with like two of the girls, so he was Mr. Hot Stuff, and he saw that I had bought a copy of I Am Legend, and I was
How?
because I think I was reading it inside of my French textbook.
Oh.
I had my
The
French
book.
textbook La Pepe open.
You're talking the comic.
I had the I Am Legend book,
Gotcha.
and then I was gonna read it before I saw the movie, and came back, Mr. Hot Sliz, and he walked up to me as I was talking to the teacher, and he goes, and he spoiled the ending
No.
like a little snot head. And I just said, "Why'd you do that?" My teacher goes, "Why would you do that?" And then he was just kind of like, I don't think he knew why. I think he
didn't
thought
know.
it would be funny. And so I just bought this book, and I said, "Well, why read it?"
Well, isn't the ending of the book different than the movie?
I don't know because I never read it. And I could have said I could know how. I know how a duck walk,
Yes.
and I've seen an elephant walk.
Yes.
But have you ever seen Have you ever seen an Ewok?
Walk. Up, nub, up, nub.
What are you saying?
I said, take the dress, lady.
You know, the famous... the Ewoks.
Ladies and gentlemen, his first movie in 30 years. You know him as the Ewok from Star Wars. He's in everything, everywhere, all at once. Please welcome Nub Nub.
Nub, nub. Take the dress, lady.
It's a little shocking when he starts talking. It is. You can't say it.
I'm just going to say, if you don't know what we're talking about, think about what happened to Dave Chappelle. Think about
Reverse.
Hey, get longer headphones. Hey, speaking of that, Landon. Hey, what'd you watch? Oh, wait,
Hey,
do we eat lunch?
Oh, yeah.
While the show is still called Lunch Break. Wobble, while you wobble, 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 while you wobble.
Now, remember what I said.
Yeah, she said, my money don't jiggle, jiggle.
I said you might want to remember a reference that you made to something earlier in the show.
Okay.
Because it will come back.
And I forgot what it was.
oh,
Hold
yeah.
on, let me think about it. And stall for me.
Okay, well, I will say this then while you're thinking.
Okay.
We're doing some gardening and we're doing some landscaping. And we're looking at trees. We want a couple spruce trees.
You'll have to watch this on YouTube to see us doing that.
And I'm looking at the spruce trees, and what to my wandering eye should appear but a fat Albert spruce. That's what it's called. It's the type of tree. And I'm thinking, chicken and egg, chicken and egg.
Mm-hmm.
Which one come first? Did they name this tree
Yeah.
after the fat Albert that we all know and do not love? Or did Fat Albert get his name from the spruce?
Hey, you got fat Albert and a spruce? You better let him out.
You better water him for the next 50 years.
Love the creation, not the creator. Fat Albert, we salute you.
And that's him.
No, and you might think that I'm yanking your chain.
You might
But-
think I'm yanking your chain.
You don't even know if I got a chain.
You don't even know if I've got one.
I went to Mr. Movies, the movie rental store, with a friend,
Bastard.
and they did not have the movie we wanted to rent, which was the new release of the Fat Albert movie starring Kenan Thompson.
Yes.
So his dad bought it for us.
Whoa!
This VHSs were like, what, $30?
It was on VHS.
It was
Yeah,
not
It probably was.
worth. It was not worth whatever he paid for it. But you had to be like, oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing that,
Yeah, that's... Well, awesome.
Landon.
Do you remember?
Nope. It was the thing I said about being a redneck.
If you don't remember 30 minutes ago,
Already?
you might be a Larry the Cable Guy chip. More chips, less bag. Larry the Cable Guy, everything but the kitchen sink tater chips.
So, no, there's not less bag.
Less bag,
There's
more
still
chips.
air in there. It's only 3.5 ounces.
Each purchase supports Larry the Cable Guy's Get Her Done Foundation. Look at the resolution of his image on the bag.
Well, it's the same picture they've used for everything for the past.
He doesn't look like that anymore.
What the hell?
And then you hear that interview with him where he's like, "Oh yeah, I just came up with this character because
His name's like Dan.
yeah." He's like
Dan Sprinkleberg.
He's like, "So when did you realize Larry the Cable Guy was your way in?" He was like, "Well, I realized I'm not a very good stand-up otherwise, but if I do a stupid voice, little idiots will laugh." Basically, is what his
He was like, I did this hillbilly thing.
and that was the only part people laughed at.
I made fun of these people, and they thought I was one of them.
One of us.
These flavors will knock out your snack cravings like a cop kicking down a trailer door. Shoot. They are so good, save yourself the trouble and grab a second, third, and fourth bag now. I cooked up these flavors just for you. Me, Larry. I did it. Now what in the world are you waiting for? Get her done.
Without further ado,
So they're just everything but the kitchen sink tater chips.
they smell pretty good. It looks like, according to
Okay.
the images on the front,
I'm going in.
some like vinegar, onion, and tomato. So
Yeah.
everything but the kitchen
Hey.
sink is actually about, I don't know, 3 ingredients.
If I was if you put these out at a get together at a park,
I'm eating them.
Larry knows what he's doing.
I told you.
He should do a collab with like Ron White, right?
Yeah.
Where you can put these on a salad and they call it the tater salad.
I do have to say, the bag is still only half full.
That's what I mean.
It's like, maybe it's a different shape bag.
It's skinnier.
It's like a skinnier bag, but it's still only half full.
But it's only 3.5 ounces, so what's he talking about? Did he have a bigger bag before with less than 3.5 ounces of chips?
it's just so funny that
It's so
he is
blurry.
like 5 pixels. The rest is fine.
These are pretty good. These remind me of the all. What is it? The all seasoning. What's the chip from Canada that's like? It's like a Lay's.
Everything.
Shut up.
Well, here's what Larry had also. Larry also had, which I was going to get, but then I saw this and I said, that sounds better. He has the ketchup flavored, which that doesn't entice me at all.
All dressed.
It's good for the show, but I wanted to try something that I might actually like because, I don't know, a potato chip is kind of hard to mess up. This tastes like any other potato chip. The flavors, however, are pretty good.
Very, very tart.
Yeah, you're getting that vinegar for sure.
It's basically, yes. So it's the all seasoned, which I believe became a ketchup flavor. So here's the thing.
Huh?
These are Canadian flavors. Is Larry Canadian?
I don't think so.
Because I've been able to find the all dressed, I think,
But that goes against everything that
Once.
he stands for, I think.
yeah, on stage.
Yeah, but in real life, he's like, I was born and raised in Canada.
Let's look them up.
What do you give these? Is that these?
The second, okay, so hold on a second. I just typed in Larry, okay? Classic spelling of Larry. The first thing that comes up is Larry Wilcox, American actor.
No way.
The second thing that comes up is Larry the Cable Guy chips. And nowhere
There's-
else on the list is even Larry the Cable Guy.
They're sweeping the nation, people.
So why is Larry Wilcox the first thing that comes up? I mean, he was in a show called Chips. He was in Chips with Eric Estrada kind of grabbing whatever he could get a hold of. Come over here, honk honk.
Is that true?
I think he's a freak. Larry the
Cable
guy, Chips. No, I didn't want to look up the chips. You already did that.
Yeah, they're right here, and I give them a 0.8.
Did they have the biscuits and gravy flavor?
No.
What about chili cheese fries?
No.
Fried dill pickle?
No.
Tater salad.
No.
There is a tater salad.
Holy crap.
He stole that. It's not the only thing he stole. He stole our heritage, too.
He's culturally appropriated our heritage, sir.
He's from Nebraska.
Yeah, my daddy and my mommy were pig farmers in Nebraska, and I just thought it was so funny that people from the South are complete idiots.
They're all stupid, and I made fun of them, and they liked it.
Now, my entire life is that.
And at what point is it not ironic anymore? Because you have to wear your ripped off flannel with no sleeves.
You have to just do that.
You can only wear hats where the brim is frayed, but there's still a new brim underneath.
Which, you need to do that with that.
I don't think you can, because I think it'll just fray.
Yeah.
You have to go to a gas station and get one where they purposely put an extra brim on.
Yeah. So
Because it looks like you did a hard day's work.
Well, because they know how to save a life, the fray.
Yeah.
These chips are good. I gave them a 0.8. I think I'm going to knock it down to a 0.7 just because I realized it's not doing anything different from any other chip I've ever had. The chip itself is perfectly fine. It's a Lay's. It's whatever. It's a fine chip.
These, So let's see here. The product was manufactured for Get Her Done Productions, Inc.
Yeah, I saw that.
So who made these?
It's probably Lay's.
Yeah.
It's like how the Walmart brand is just Lay's, and
I'll
they
eat
put
'em.
them in a different bag. You know, all these, it's all, everyone works for the same guy, okay?
Why are places allowed to do that with candy? Like you go to a Casey's or a Quick Star or whatever.
It's all the same.
It's all the same, like
Bridge
cinnamon
mix.
bears. Yeah.
Bridge mix.
Okay, or cinnamon bears.
You're buying the cinnamon bears? I get the bridge mix.
Okay, but if you're going to be on a long road trip, what would you rather have keeping you up? Hot bears. Okay. Or, and I'm talking the guy that plays Hellboy now. Mm-hmm. I'm talking John Gemberling. I'm talking...
John Gabris.
Or do you want your bridge mix when you go out with all the old ladies and you get the little weird size cards?
Yeah, I want the bridge mix because they have chocolate covered nut. Mm-hmm. They have chocolate covered cremes.
Yeah.
They have chocolate covered raisins. All of the things I want covered in chocolate. And it's a milk chocolate. It's a dark chocolate. They have everything in the bridge mix that you want. But here's the other thing. 2 for $4. I'll get both. Just get both. How long is this road trip, you know? Get both. 2 for $4.
That's true. Or you can get the Pepto-Bismol mints.
I like
The Circus Peanut.
peach ring.
Peach ring is a good go-to.
Peach ring.
Peach ring, they're doing peach ring now.
Peach ring is probably one of the better snacks. At a gas station, you're in a pinch. It's like $2 for a Snicker, $2 for Laffy Taffy, 1 stick, or $2 for a bag full of peach ring. Yeah, I gotta go peach ring. But I don't like candy much anymore. I like chocolate, so I go for a bridge mix.
Yeah. Candy, while it is a good treat, I saw some Mike and Ike's at the store yesterday.
I love my
10 flavor mega mix.
What?
But here's what I said. I said I can't get it. I can't start doing this. I did, which I could get for the show. I got these gummy, because me and gummies, it's a love-hate. But I found these Jelly Bellies, these vegan Jelly Bellies.
What?
Gummies. At Target, they're doing the gummies now without the stuff, without water in them. Mm-hmm. They're making dry gummies. You
You get them, you bring them home, you pour a little water on them at your house, some tap water, and you're allowed to eat them.
But I got them, and they're good, and I just keep eating them, and
Yeah,
and it's just like
eating, yeah.
the texture. You get the Sour Patch Kids, and you just eat them and eat them. It's a hard. You can't. You sometimes you just got to cut it off.
A Jelly Belly isn't gummy.
A Jelly Belly isn't gummy. A Jelly Belly isn't gummy.
Isn't that what you said?
They're not jelly beans. They are gummies shaped like big jelly beans that are gummies. So it's doing the Jelly Belly flavor in a gummy.
Butter popcorn in a gummy.
You wish.
Drop down and give me 20.
Drop down your trousers and give me 20. There's blue raspberry. There's lemon. There's green apple.
Turn your mouth blue.
Eat enough. Turn your mouth blue. These chips, what I'm confused about is that they're called tater chips because I've never had a potato that is covered in like vinegar. I've put malt vinegar on fries when you go to one of those restaurants.
Yeah.
Where they're like, we have ketchup or we have a shaker of stinky malt vinegar.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, let's try that.
Yeah.
But this is a picture. So they're called tater chips. There's a picture of a tomato.
Yes.
Mater.
Yes.
There's an onion, sweet, and vinegar. What does this have to do with tater? With what? Why are they called
Those
tater
are
chips?
the flavors that
But
are on it.
everything but the kitchen sink.
It's just 3 flavors.
No, but why?
He's an idiot. He's
that's-
making fun of you.
Okay, I give him an 8 then, because he's tricking us. And they're better than these Lay's. Just stop. I don't need loaded cheeseburger fries.
Yeah.
Chips.
Well, with Lay's, with Lay's, you almost have to say, like, at a certain point, Lay's, you need to get back to the flavors. You need to do the original right. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the Lay's, you pull it. It seems recent to me. You grab a Lay's and it's thin. You can literally see through it.
Yeah.
More and more. That used to be kind of a like, oh look, a see-through one. Couple of bag. Now it's all of them in the bag.
Yeah, it's the Cheez-It extra toasted of, I want the gold nugget in the pile of manure. In my Cheez-Its,
Yeah.
which are a perfect 10 snack, I want that little 11. And everyone, yes, it's happening. The second one's coming out. We had an idea that we think would be very funny, man. But guess what? As someone that had just watched Best in Show and waiting for Guffman,
Guff man, yeah.
I can't wait for this.
You want Spinal Tap too.
I haven't seen the first one. That's on my list of those movies that it's like everyone thinks everyone has seen.
Yeah. It's on that for me too. I never saw it.
You never saw it? But
That-
you were in a band once.
You're the people making me not want to see it.
I'll never watch it now. Thanks. You just
Holy crap.
I'm never going to watch it now. Thank
But
you.
you were in a band.
No, thank you. I'll never watch it. Thanks.
You got to know because of the knob.
No.
And the Stonehenge.
Don't care.
What if you did
Nope.
that?
Nope. I'm not watching it ever.
What if you did that?
Nope. Never. Because of you.
So
because of you.
Because of that.
Because of you. I never strayed too far from the sidewalk. I never strayed too far from the sidewalk. Because of you. I play on the safe side.
So don't get hurt.
I don't want to get hurt. They come to me, they say, sir, please get hurt, please get hurt. I say, not today, Satan. And actually, very funny, one time I said, because it was a Saturday night, I was out with my girls. I was outside with my girls. I said, you know what, Satan, today, because we got so tipsy, I drank the White Claw. I drank the new. They're doing Baja Blast. They're doing it alcoholic. They're doing it. Coca-Cola about Topo Chico. Everyone's mad, but they said, but what if we're doing it with a little bit of the, of course we call it the, and we're not supposed to call it this anymore, but I don't care. I'll call it this because my loyal listeners know it's called firewater. That's what we're calling alcohol.
The problem is it is just fun. Like, we just talked for 10 minutes about how there's only one guy that should ever be doing this. It's impossible not to, because it is fun. The way he talks is insane. So it is fun to try to do it.
Because it's funny and it's just mind blowing that people were tricked.
Liked it. Yeah. Like, I like to listen to someone doing it to be funny.
Yeah. I'll listen to anyone do it to be funny.
Sure.
Because people heard
Even
that and
me.
said he's just like us.
Even me.
Yeah.
We all do talking like this inside of a warehouse.
Okay.
Many people are talking like this. They really are. They come to me, they say, sir, I'm talking like this. I say, I know. You see the movie where the guy goes to the island, he's big boy? And all the people on the island are small boy. Jack Black's doing it now. Jack Black even did it now. They asked me to do it. I said, not today, Satan. They're making everything political sized because even Dr. Doolittle now is now he's serious. Is now he's on a boat. We can't just have a hamster singing Let's Get It On to Eddie Murphy. And now he's dealing with dragons. They're making him deal with dragons, pulling dragon turds from the dragon's eyes.
Oh, God.
They take you to a beach, you become old. They take you to a beach, you become old.
All right. I give these chips an 8 just because if I was at one of these parties and they're saying, oh, you should mingle.
Yeah.
No.
I'll
They say,
I'll
here
stick
the
to
drinks
those.
are over here.
Yeah.
What do you have? The margarita Topo Chico. Crap.
Crap.
What do you have to do? Video games? My son's playing the video games and he hates your guts.
Right.
Okay, so I can't go in that room.
Not today.
He's playing the one where the cars kick the soccer ball around and he's loving it.
Yeah.
Guess it's just me and my bag of chips tonight.
Eat my chips tonight. I don't want it. Don't.
This doorbell is
Yeah.
Oh!
0.8. Not an 8, a 0.8.
0.8 out of 1 lemon
Crisp.
crisp.
Kit Kat.
Kit.
And for now, that's our rating system.
Who knows what could come next? Who knows if there'll even be a rating system next? I want my hamana shamana.
All right. Look.
What? Ew, I looked that way and he
Gooshed ya.
Goosh.
that
We...
was just some things that people used to do. It's not funny anymore. People say gadoosh. People were doing.
Douche.
Okay, just kidding. Gadoosh.
Douche. Hey, I'm going to ask you something, and it goes a little like this. What you watch? But before you answer that, I also want to say,
Boba Fett you watch.
people might go back and look at sometime. There's a segment on our TV show, and maybe it's not just the TV show called this. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But we had a TV show called Colin Mockery. And we did
Google it.
We did do a segment where we did a Trump impression. Because
Very popular sketch.
this was in the midst of Alec Baldwin doing it very poorly. And our joke was, we're going to do it so bad that it doesn't even register that it's trying to be Trump. Of course, it is. And I still did it better than Alec Baldwin. But I just went, because I think sometimes that joke might get lost on people if you're just watching it and you're not in on the sort of like, we're doing a play on a play.
So yeah, if you were ever actually going to come across that,
I think some people are just like, wow, he just sucks at this impression. But as you can hear tonight, or this morning, or this afternoon as you're listening to this.
but you're also like leaning back in a reclining chair.
Well, yes, I wheel myself in like
Yeah, like
he's on a wheelchair, like he's in a electric Professor Xavier wheelchair, and he can't get up.
And this was in the midst of his dastardly, where every day we had to wake up to the smog of DT Junior.
Junior. Anyway, what'd you watch?
The 3 Mile. No, not the 3 Mile Club. Land's like, once we get to 3 miles in the air, you're all taking your clothes off. 3 Mile Island.
Yeah, that doc on Netflix, huh?
About the thing that exploded.
They're like, uh-oh, something's about to explode.
Something might explode. And then episode 2 is like, we think about something might explode. And then the third episode, they're like, it could have exploded. And then the fourth episode, they're like, it might explode. And then the credits roll. Now it's good.
Oh.
It's an interesting look into how the government lies to everyone about everything. We're not safe. Nothing is safe.
Well,
everything is a cover up. Everything that you think or has been told, no, it's not. That didn't happen. It's a lie. You've been lied to. No, you can live here where we put atomic bombs. You can't. You can't.
You can't. But it's so hard because it's like, yeah, that's obviously true. But then the other side of that is like, you're an anti-vaxxer. And you are the problem, Joey.
Yeah, well, they say, well, that's the thing. That's exactly what I'm saying. They say it's safe.
Yeah.
You know, you can get it. And then they go, well, maybe not the Johnson Johnson. Well, maybe we shouldn't do the Pfizer, or maybe not the Moderna because they've never been a company before. And they go, actually, you know what? Nah, you can get them. And then they go back on their little scientific heels, which you're not allowed to wear in the lab.
And no open toes.
No open toes.
You think a little freaking sodium chloride on my toenail is going to hurt me?
Nothing new.
Nothing new. Also, it's just salt.
Sodium chloride and like calcium chloride and like potassium chloride.
Yeah.
These are all salts. You should see these people online going, I put calcium chloride in my tomatoes.
Yeah.
And you're just like, and then someone's like, that's actually salt.
And it actually tastes mucho better, baby.
Have you ever had gray salt? It's like expiration date much.
I've had a salt.
You've had a salt?
Yeah, because my name's Amber Heard.
2 peanuts were walking down the street. One was assaulted. That's our disclaimer for what Landon just said.
They both did it. You can't say that anymore. They both were mean to each other. We don't need it anymore.
Look who's finally standing up to the American people.
But here's the other
You
thing.
can't say it anymore. They both were mean to each other.
But then SNL does a sketch about it.
I haven't seen it yet. You can spoil it. It's just,
Well, they do a sketch about it, and then suddenly that's bad. You can't win with these people. You can't win. I'm not saying it's funny or not. I'm not condoning the sketch at all, based on its comedic merits. I'm not going to spoil that for you.
great.
But that's what comedy does. If we're getting mad at comedy for trying to make jokes of things that happen in the news,
First of all, this goes exactly what you said earlier of people saying they're not going hard enough at him. The political jokes are always softballs. It's always, instead of going A to C, these dorks are just going A to B. They're saying, Mr. Cheney was in the news this week
yes,
for shooting someone. And they go, okay, well, I won't be going on the next camping trip with him.
Right.
Instead of saying like, well, that's weird because his wife said he was shooting blanks, or I don't know. But then they finally do go after. Write that down.
yeah,
They finally do go after something
Cheney
that
joke.
is a little, like risque.
right.
And then you tell them they can't do it?
Well, the problem is,
It's not funny. You got to watch the video for that.
well, it's not that it's not funny. It's that it's basically just stuff that was said in the trial.
Well, that's the problem that I have with them.
That's the SNL way, though.
They just keep.
They just repeat stuff that was already said.
See that funny Elmo video? What if we just repeated what
What if we just
Elmo
did that?
did?
And like their TikTok sketches now that they do.
It's just TikTok.
It's just it's them doing TikTok trends. That's not funny. That's not comedy. But I don't like the sort of... I don't like the way that people now react to, like... God, do we really need to get into this?
We might as well. It's our last episode.
They take the side of Johnny Depp, basically. Which basically everyone in America now has.
Yes. As Chris Rock said, believe all women except for Amber Heard.
Which, from the 2 frickin' seconds of the thing I've looked at, because I don't care.
I don't want to watch it. And my girlfriend has called me out for saying that, and then I bring up something that I saw because I said, why do people care about this?
Right.
But then I was like, did you hear that?
Did you see that
he drank out of a big wine glass?
It's very obvious that Johnny Depp is abusive.
He did something.
And it's obvious that she was either retaliating or abusive to him in some ways. Past that, what are we doing here? But if you get mad at the weekly comedy show that historically has always been making fun of what's happening in the news, you are a fool.
That's in the news.
You have to just look. You have to think about yourself in the context of the history of the Earth, and think, maybe I'm not that bright for pointing this out. Like great. Now the whole nation laughs at a woman who's sitting through. Like, I get that, but we've all already done it. It's not SNL's fault. I don't even like SNL. I love it. But also I hate it. But
go to any of the... First of all, the fact that they are televising this...
That's your problem.
OJ killed someone. This is 2 celebrities...
that
are fighting each other.
That were mean to each other.
He threw a glass at her. She broke a plate over his head.
Chopped him pinky off.
She purposely made him mad and then recorded his answers.
Okay,
and then
so
he did the same thing to her. Let
Yes.
me finish.
Okay.
He's going to cut it right before I said that. And then he does it to her. They're both don't like each other.
Yes.
Who did more of what? You know what? Here's the truth. And I stand up for this. We're never going to know.
Yeah.
I don't care if you want to kick her out of Aquaman or you're mad that he doesn't get to play Grindelwald. Oh, what she did to him. He no longer gets to play the role that he loved.
Grindelwald.
But everybody has taken his side. You post a video of her playing a clip, and it's like Amber Heard goated. Period.
It's the greatest of all time. She's goated for this.
Amber Heard is goated for this. And then you post one of Johnny Depp, and it just says Big Bay Sauce.
Well, that's what's strange. Women have now been sexually awakened to Johnny Depp for just sitting there and being a smug prick.
And being so slow with his answers.
He's an actor.
He's faking it too.
They're both
They're like, so what happened when you came home and your head was crunched inside out? And he's like, it's funny. I was sitting on the couch and watching my favorite show, to Baby Looney Tune. And she came in and she told me I drank all the wine in the big wine glass again. And it's just funny because I never had a wine. I never drank wine. He's lying too.
He's lying. She's lying. Let's call the whole thing off.
Let's call the whole thing a pasta sauce. Let's call the whole thing a pasta sauce. He's Italian. She's Italian too. And now you can't do Italian voices.
Not anymore.
And now you're making me say Italian.
You think it's Italian.
Do people live in Italy?
You're about to live.
Do people live in Italy? Probably.
Yeah.
They say, I'm going home for the night. They hide out in the storage closet.
Mm-hmm.
They got all that capicola. They've got all that prosciutto.
It's a real corduroy situation.
I've been locked in a sex dungeon.
I love that movie. Book.
Okay. Yeah, okay, you are smart.
Okay, so
Hear me out. Hear me out.
I just think it's a little strange to be like. Of course, SNL is going to do something on it.
Yeah.
You should expect them to do something on it. Maybe expect a little more from them, like as far as comedy.
Mm-hmm. Like, make it be not about the trial.
Yes,
Like,
and
we get what you're talking about, but you're doing it with...
and they do. Their take on it is a little different.
I can't wait to go home and watch this.
I mean, check it out. It's not
Which episode is this?
the most recent. I can't remember who the host is.
It was Selena Gomez.
That's right. She thankfully is not in the. It's the cold open, okay?
Okay.
So it's she didn't have to have her good name sullied by being in this sketch.
I took a dookie on the bed. That's her. Or is that Jennifer Tilly?
Something happened to her voice. She didn't always talk like that, right?
No, it's just one of...
And no shade.
No, it's just different.
It's different
I just
now.
noticed it in Last People That Live in the Building and Get Killed or whatever.
Yeah.
We gotta go downstairs.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
very sibilant.
Yeah.
Like
Oh my God.
Shepherd.
I was checking a microphone the other day, and a guy said, he was like, sibilance, next to me, and I just shit the bed.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
I went to a SNL museum once, and they had the Wayne's World couch. And if you bought a Wayne's World hat, they had a secret door to let you back into that part of the museum so you could take a picture on the Wayne's World couch.
Did you?
I was by myself. I didn't feel like buying a hat by myself and then saying to the teenager working there, could you let me back in the secret door so I can go to level 3 and sit on the Wayne's World couch and have a stranger take my picture?
But you kind of feel stupid now, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the Turd Ferguson Jeopardy stuff. I saw the big hat. I saw some of Alec Baldwin's Trump stuff.
Great.
Which I'm not even going to tell you what that means.
Laboda, come here. Let me show you some of my stuff.
It's about time that we do close down shop.
So what'd you watch?
You know, I watched. What did I watch? I was gonna bring up something. I can't remember what it is.
I also watched some Vice Principals.
So I watched. Oh,
pretty
that's
funny
right.
if you-
This. So yeah, we got time. We don't. We're so over. We're so over.
Hey guys, consider this a bonus episode. I want everyone out there to raise their hands into the sky and remind themselves that this is a bonus episode. And if you're feeling it, I want you to come up to the stage and I want you to put both hands on the stage and I want you to go, hoo, 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 like you're Rock Johnson.
I watched a couple of episodes of this new reality show on Disney Plus called The Quest.
Whoa!
This is a show where 8 teenagers are thrust into a very, very
Watch yourself, counselor.
sustained. I don't know. They're thrust into a fantasy story that is unlike anything you've ever seen. It's remember that show Legend of the Hidden Temple?
Yeah.
Where you had that Olmec or whatever, and he's like, now you have to go through the maze. See how many rocks you can pick up.
So this is kind of like
Return of a Mac.
It's kind of like that, but it's shot like a movie, and it has all of the budget of a Disney property. So they're at an actual castle. There's a bunch of actors. There's like a story element. So there's like the castle is being trying to be take over by some evil demon lady. Anyway, so they have to do these little quests. And they are some of the stupidest quests ever. Like you can only do like 3 things where it's like see how many rocks you can hold. and see if you can find the little glow balls. I've watched 2 episodes. They've done 2 challenges where they just have to find stuff.
So they had a good idea for a TV show, and then in the creation of the show, they're like, well, how do we do this?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I would have thought would be the coolest thing ever to have been a part of as a kid. Like, I would die to have done that as a kid.
Oh, you're a LARP head through and through.
Well, it's just the transportation into, because it's all like they have monsters and stuff, and it's puppets and practical effects and stuff, and it's shot like a show, like a movie, like it's cinematic and stuff, and it's just cool. And then, you know, they go back and like they make them talk to each other, like the contestants are like
They make it.
well, you know, it's not real because they're like, I just really think like we really worked together well on that last challenge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me too. I love that. That was so cool. Anyway, you know, they don't really have anything in common, but they just have to talk about the show that they're on. I don't
And the
know.
producers keep going.
They're like, did that make you feel? That's the element that's, because normally a reality show or something like this would have the talking head element where it's like, it cuts away.
This is not my house.
It cuts away to, when the days go by.
This is not my beautiful castle with my glowing orbs in it.
It cuts away to someone in a giant suit, and they're like, "Let the days go by, let the water rolling up."
Nose coated in powdered sugar.
No, but honestly, it cuts away to someone who
Okay.
is like, "Let the days go by, let the water rolling up." No, honestly, normally, cut away.
This episode's already an hour and 45 minutes.
It would cut away to someone saying, "E Zimbra." That's a name for a song.
And then they go, let the days go by.
Let the water rolling up. No, honestly. Normally we cut away to a talking head. Where one of the contestants would be saying, I really let the days go by. Let the water rolling by.
Bye.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.